Right, so I think it's time we do a review. Okay, so let's make sure we've got everything perfect. We've got the Batman t-shirt on, we've got the red background, we've got the red lighting. We're ready to get talking about the newest addition to the DC universe, the Batman. Now, I just need to inform you guys before we get into it, this is a no spoiler review, so don't get too worried about clicking on things and seeing things that we're not meant to see. Now, on this channel, I've been doing Let's Talk, and I've been talking about things that are on my mind, but this week, we are throwing something in the works. We're throwing a spanner in the works, and today we're discussing DC's The Batman. Directed by Matt Reeves, starring Zoe Kravitz, can't pronounce the name right, Paul Dano and Robert Pattinson. This new film has come across our screens, across all the cinemas, all over the world, and it is absolutely blowing minds. Now, usually in the Batman films, we kind of get this cool, sexy kind of guy that gets all the girls. He's a billionaire, playboy, the cool Batman, the Christian Bale of Batmans that we've been given in the Dark Knight series, and we've been given a lot of very posh, rich boy-looking Batmans, where kind of Bruce Wayne and Batman are kind of two separate personalities and have their own limelight, and a majority of the time we see the Batman as Bruce Wayne, if that makes sense. But that's where this version differs. I almost feel like in Robert Pattinson's version of the Batman, we're getting a Batman who's nothing without the suit, he's nothing without the cape, he's nothing without the batarangs, and he's nothing without this alternative persona. From start to finish, we're treated with a cinematic masterpiece from a director who'd previously done some great films such as Cloverfield and The Planet of the Apes, the new modern versions, but this was totally different and totally unprecedented, and not something we were expecting from Matt Reeves. When Robert Pattinson was first given the role of the Batman back in 2019 and 2018, there was uproar, there was thoughts, and people didn't like the idea that our Pats was our Bats. Now, of course, in the Batman films in the past, we've had a lot of different villains, some comedic, when we start looking at Batman Forever and films that are back in the 90s and the 80s, and then we've also had a lot of a darker version within the Dark Knight series. Of course, in the first Batman Begins, we had Scarecrow, the Dark Knight. We then get treated with Heath Ledger's amazing portrayal of the clown prince of crime, the Joker. And then in the Dark Knight Rises, we get the big and bad Bane. This time in the Batman, we get no other than Paul Dano, an actor who I've not really seen in much apart from Prisoners featuring Hugh Jackman, where he played a character so well. I felt fear in the bathroom scene. If you've seen the film, you'll know what I mean. Alternatively, go watch Prisoners. It's a great film. Now, throughout the actual trailers of the Batman and throughout the cinematic kind of releases we've been given, we've not seen much of the Riddler. We've seen very little of his face, we've seen him in his usual outfit, and we've seen him using his tape on his victims. The thing we'd always been missing was actually seeing Paul Dano's face, and I think the first time we see it on screen, it really did take my breath away, because it's just creepy. Like, it almost, the fact that we're seeing someone's normal face, the fact that we're seeing a civilian dressed as he is, portraying the character he's portraying, makes us realise it could be anyone, and how realistic this villain actually is. As the film goes through, we see this beautiful dynamic not only between the Batman and the GCPD, but also his dynamic between Catwoman and also the Riddler. Each dynamic has such a different kind of feel to it. We also see him speaking to Falcone and the Penguin, and each different encounter shows a different side of the Batman. Now, when we do finally get treated with scenes of Bruce Wayne himself, his character doesn't change much. We get a similar kind of persona that we do to the Batman, a dark, mysterious figure. But what's interesting is he's not very confident without the suit. As I said in earlier portrayals, we've always had this Bruce Wayne character who's cool, who's trendy. He lives in a beautiful mansion and he has everything he could want. But it's almost like the moment that Pattinson puts on the suit, he's everything. He is Bruce Wayne and he is Batman combined. But I feel this gives a lot of room for the character. This gives the Bruce Wayne, Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne, a bit of room to grow, and a bit of room to grow into the Bruce Wayne that we all know and love. Now, throughout the trailers, we are getting the constant feeling of the Batman being told he's a part of the issue. He's dark, he's deranged, and he's not right in the head. And I feel like this theme is portrayed beautifully across the film, where you start thinking, is he good or is he bad? Let's just think it, right? A guy running around wearing this, knocking people out and hiding in the shadows, something is clearly not right at home. And We really get the message in this film. Now what's interesting is for a film of such a long runtime, we don't feel it drags out. I didn't feel when I was in the cinema that it was too long and that I wish I turned it off. So much so I'm going to go watch it again because I enjoyed every minute of the near 3-hour film time. Each character had their own dialogue, they had their own moment. We got to grow and understand who the characters were, from Catwoman to Penguin to Falcone to the Riddler to Alfred. Alfred wasn't in the film much, but we still got to feel his character and really get to know him. We learned a lot about the Waynes, which I feel was carried on from the Joker a bit, which of course isn't canon, which is explained in this movie. But the fact that the Waynes, we get a lot of story about Batman's past, which we never previously got in the other films. There are genuine moments in this movie where we question the Batman, we question the Riddler, and we start thinking ourselves. We're taking away the luxurious factor of the Batman and we're putting you in a dark, gritty, crime noir film which is just so gripping and intense. And I'm going to be honest with you, it should have been an 18 from release. There were scenes in that film which I didn't feel that were actually appropriate for younger audiences. For example, The Dark Knight was a 12 and I thought that pushed it. But this film at a 15 is definitely pushing the ratings. And even Robert Pattinson was shocked that it was a 15 in the UK. By far, this is my favourite portrayal of the Batman we've had thus far. And there has been the debate of which film wins, The Dark Knight or The Batman, and for me, I've got to give it up to The Batman. From start to finish, it was gritty, it was intense, and it was gripping. Each character didn't feel rushed, each character had their own moment, and we're also getting future series such as the Arkham Asylum, the Penguin, and a few other series which are going to integrate into Matt Reeves' Batverse. A verse that I'm very, very excited to grow and learn about. From start to finish, the film's full of surprises, it's captivating, and there's not one part of change. Even the end of the film was incredible, making me want more instantly. That I also left the cinema with so many unanswered questions. What was this? What was that? And it left me reading and wanting more. The film generally was a 10 out of 10, and I'm really, really glad I watched it. So I've said it there. Instead, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I know what a weird way to start the reviews on, but it was gripping and it was everything that I wanted, and it was everything that ticked every single box. So if you haven't yet seen The Batman, make sure you go check it out. And if you want to see the trailer, you can check the link in the comments below. But let me know, guys, what you think of videos like this, what you think of my honest opinions of films, and if you want to see more trailers and more reviews like this. I said trailers, I'm all over the place today. But do me a favour, guys, hit that bell notification, hit subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and have a good night. Or morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are. See ya.